I hope you're doing well. So we come to the Marvin headline, which matters because it changes the quality of Palantir's defense revenue, not just the volume. Simply Wall Street reported that Palantir's Marvin military AI platform was designed to form a program of record in the Pentagon's proposed 2027 defense budget. And Reuters reported in March that the Pentagon intended to formalize Marvin as a core military command and control platform with future contracting handled by the Army. This is meaningful because a program of record label usually means better funding, visibility, and a longer planning horizon. But it does not automatically make the stock cheap at the current price of around $144.07 and roughly $370.4 billion market cap. So the right way to value Palantir here is to start with what the business already is, not what the news might become. In financial year 2025, Palantir generated 4.475 billion of revenue, up 56% year over year, with the government revenue of 2.402 billion and commercial revenue of 2.073 billion. It also produced 2.134 billion of cash from operations, 1.414 billion of GAAP operating income, and 1.635 billion of net income. Now, the stock-based compensation was still large at 684 million, and the diluted weighted average shares were 2.565 billion, which matters because dilution is part of the economic cost of growth. The balance sheet gives Palantir a lot of flexibility, which is one reason the market is willing to pay such a high multiple. As of year-end 2025, Palantir reported about 6.7 billion of cash equivalents, and marketable securities, plus 4.1 billion of remaining performance obligations. The company said about 38% of those RPOs should convert to revenue in the next 12 months, with the rest mostly over the next 3 years or beyond. That means there is real contracted visibility underneath the growth story, even though some customer arrangements remain considerable and the company still relies on renewals, expansions, and new deployments. Now, the 2026 guide is the bridge between the news and the valuation. Palantir guided for financial year 2026 revenue of 7.182 billion to 7.198 billion, and adjusted income from operations of 4.126 billion to 4.142 billion, and adjusted free cash flow of 3.925 billion to 4.125 billion. We see that this implies another huge step up from 2025, and is why the market keeps treating Palantir like a category-defining AI platform rather than a normal software vendor. The problem is that a lot of that optimism is already in the stock, and at the current market price, Palantir trades at about 51.5 times the financial year 2026 revenue midpoint and about 82.8 times financial year 2025 sales on a market cap basis. So here is the fair value model I would use. I anchor financial year 2026 revenue at the midpoint of guidance, then let growth slow as the base gets larger. 30% in 2027, 25% in 2028, 22% in 2029, 19% in 2030, and 16% in 2031. I keep free cash flow margins very strong, and I do not assume they stay at the same everything is perfect level forever. In the best case, I use roughly 50% FCF margin in 2026, then 50%, 49%, 48%, 47%, and 46% over the following years. I discount future cash flows at 10%, and use a 35x terminal FCF multiple, which is rich by ordinary software standards but still defensible for a company with Palantir's growth, margins, and balance sheet. Under that framework, my base case fair value comes out around $82 per share. Now that base case is not a bearish Palantir's broken call. It is a statement that the market is already paying for a lot of future success. The bear case is what happens if growth cools faster, government visibility helps but does not turn into a runaway compounding engine, and margins are held back by ongoing dilution and heavy equity compensation. In that version, fair value is closer to around $47 per share. The bull case assumes Palantir keeps expanding faster for longer. The Marvin win turns into a broader defense software layer across the Pentagon, commercial adoption keeps accelerating, and margins stay exceptionally high but gets you to roughly $114 per share. Even that bull case is still below today's 144.07 quote. And why am I comfortable with a model that lands well below the current price? Because the market cap already implies an enormous amount of future execution. Palantir's financial year 2025 operating margin was about 31.6%, and its adjusted FCF margin was about 50.7%, which are excellent numbers, but the valuation still asks investors to believe that Palantir can keep scaling near software elite margins while adding huge revenue dollars every year. That is possible. It is just not free. If the Pentagon relationship deepens, Marvin becomes a sticky multi-year platform, and US commercial growth stays explosive, the stock can justify a very high multiple. But if any one of those three legs slips, the downside can be sharp because the starting valuation is already so elevated. And so my takeaway is simple. The Marvin news improves the quality of Palantir's future revenue, but it does not erase valuation risk. The core here is on substance. A program of record designation gives Palantir better defense visibility. The fair value conclusion, though, is that Palantir still looks expensive unless it keeps compounding at extraordinary rates for several more years. And on my model, the stock is best thought of as a high-quality company priced for near perfection, with a fair value of around $82 per share and a wide range depending on how long the growth runaway really lasts. If you've benefited from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want more like this, please comment more. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the fair value is right? What is your bullish and bearish narrative? And remember that God loves us and wants us to have a closer relationship with Him. Let's trust Him for our lives. May God bless you. See you then.